you seem to be having a bit of a thing going with OTT, the OTT ecosystem. You don't want to work with them.
I think
You just want to work by yourself and do what you want and put it where you want.
no, I think to be very fair, I think, and this is again a disclaimer to all the OTT guys present here, we are very much willing to work with all of you. It's just that none of you can afford us. So I think, but while, and it's not the absolute affordability of these guys, they're still busy buying flats for the big Bollywood guys with their shows. So I think they have the money, but they still feel that, okay, let's not give it to the Davids yet. So I think that's the problem. We are ready. Last year, we in fact gave concepts and synopsis to 3 of the OTT guys. I don't want to name them, but they just decided to give more money to another Bollywood star to give them 30 seconds of crap. So,
So what's going to tilt the scales? I mean, come on, yeah. I mean, you've been one wacko guy who's been creating, very creative wacko guy. Is that, well, what's going to tilt the scales?
आई थिंक ये बहुत कंफ्यूजन है. आप बाल झड़ गए हैं, दाढ़ी बढ़ गई है, तो मैं कहीं से भी वैको नहीं हूँ.
No, wacko in the sense, basically, you know, you're creative.
No, I think the one thing that we at TVF try doing is we are trying to make this entire creativity a boring job like coding. That is the one mission we have. We feel that we have molested this profession for a long time. We have sort of for a longest time thought that okay, माल मारेंगे, idea आएगा रात में और कुछ लिख के आ जाएंगे. We feel that it is as boring as coding or as boring as C++ and Java, and we want to make it like that. And that's what we feel, that we'll sit on table, write for 40 days, 10 hours a day like a job, and that is when we excel. Because Infosys में अगर आप bench warmer होते हो तब भी पैसे मिलते हैं, लेकिन Bollywood में आप 36 चीज़ें लिख लेते हो, बेचारे को 36 रुपए भी नहीं मिलते हैं. जब तक उसकी मे बी पहली फिल्म हिट हो जाएगी, फिर दूसरी में उसको थोड़ा एडवांस मिलेगा. सो आई थिंक इट्स अ वेरी चिकन एंड एग सिचुएशन. स्पीकिंग फॉर क्रिएटर्स, आई थिंक इट हैज़ टू बी डन बोथ वेज. I think the first thing that we need to do is we need to strip the word industry from this entire creative thing, because we don't function as industry. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, but there are guys who spend 5 years making a film. They collect 1 lakh rupee, 10,000 rupees at the box office.
Yeah.
So that's a reflection, I mean.
No, I think so next year we are trying to make a movie. We believe that we can make it in a very, very different way possible, not just on the creative end, but on the management and business and on the operation sense. And hopefully we'll be able to try and crack a newer way to put a movie out. And hopefully it will be 3 times better than 3 Idiots. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, so now you've got money last year. What now for the Viral Fever, TVF? You've got a TVF Play kind of an app. What's the way forward? I mean,
I think the ambition and the gene of TVF has been that of creator. मैंने चालू किया था, I was one person, now we have 100 of them, but we all of us still, every day we wake up, we want to make a better video. So life hasn't changed much. What we want to do at TVF next is exactly like what we did with this series, that okay, you know, we were happy that the first time a trailer of a web series trended. We are happy that next year we'll make a film which hopefully will be watched by 1 crore of people. So I think for us, the ambition is always to be pushing the envelope of creative output, if I can say, not just creativity, because that's very subjective, but we would like to make things, we would like to tell stories which, like Permanent Roommate Season 2 finale, we got like 10,000 comments where people cried watching it.
wow.
And that's a great thing, because you know it took us 2 years, but now people don't associate TVF with jokes and cutie appa and laugh. They know that okay, we are makers of great stories, and they have cried 40 minutes watching a show. So I think, you know, we have made people laugh and cry, and there is a lot of things to be done in between.
Get your sales guys to get a brand integration, the tissues.
Yeah, I think I should do that. But I feel we have almost 5 generations of work left in terms of stories. So I think most of us want to have our funerals in TVF. So we are not really in a hurry of anything.
Yeah, but do you see yourself becoming more of a lab, which is going to encourage lots of new talent to come in? Or do you see it all being done in-house? You know, where do you see yourself evolving?
So I think there has been slight change, because now that, you know, like you said, that we have some money, although that is equal to the amount of money spent on tea in the Hotstar office. But I think, but I think, yeah, we have that, and we are able to work with a lot more creators. I think every year end we have a party, and when 29 December 2015 we all got together, and we had met a lot of creators, writers, directors, and we said that the next year, for next 5 years, our ambition is from 2016 to 2020. We want to work with a lot of creators, production houses, and writers, and gift them, literally not give them, but gift them the best work of their life. And I think with Trifling we'll start doing that, and that's the intention. We want to work with as many people as possible, and we want to be up there. That okay, this is my best work which I did with TVF.
So you're
that's
okay
the-
with co-productions with
yeah,
other-
yeah. So we are okay with working with lot more people. We are in talks with all of them, and we are quite confident that because we come with the expertise of half a decade, our originals, which is headed by Samir, the guy who created Permanent Roommate. He's the one who's developed this with a couple of writers. You must have seen Akash and Sumit. So the idea is that when we 20 of us sit with a newer team in our office, we hope that 6 months later he or she walks away with, okay, this is the best work that I've ever done.
Yeah, so when you're doing co-productions, does the guy bring the money? Does the guy bring the idea? Because you're the ideas guy, you're the creative guy, or does he? Or do you all work together on ideas?
No, I think execution is what is execution and homework is what. So we have a development team, and we induct the drivers of the show, and then we work with them over 6 months. So yeah, so we do invest a lot of resource in terms of time, in terms of our learning, and in terms of developing the story, and that is what we are good at. So that's what we bring, and of course we would look forward to getting it executed once we have signed off, though, so they can. So I think it varies. Sometimes it's done in house. Sometimes most of the time the creators would like to work with us and have us.
See, I'm looking at TV production houses which
Yeah.
have an assembly line of production.
Yeah.
So working with them, is this something which is on your
Yeah,
cards?
I think yes. So Rajesh, who directed Tripling, he's made some of the biggest ad films, and it was very nice of him to come here and say that okay, I want to unlearn a lot of things and learn newer things at TVF. There are a lot more TV producers who are working with us, and so. But I think this is an unsolicited advice for people who are creators in this room. I think there's a lot of unlearning to be done, which is not easy because you've developed those habits over time, and but we are very nice people, and we try to help them push one step at a time. But sometimes it happens that we are not able to solve a small, you can call it, we get stuck because the ways of working is quite stuck. The way we function is actually we actually make our series pretty much like movies. So if you get to know the process of how we start from development till the edit, it is pretty much we make a film in a year. While the entire movie, people take 2 to 3 years, they do things linearly. So, I mean, because our ambition is to do 2 great work in a year, not really 2,000 hours of content is not what we can ever pull off. We don't have the resources or bandwidth. But yeah, I think people who are willing to sort of embrace the entire new world, people who are willing to sort of let go of their past hang-ups, actually go and teach us a lot more thing about them. So I think it has to be a very, very collaborative process. I think the one thing that a lot of us keep missing out is, I keep listening to a lot of news and this thing, this actor did well. Of course, actors, the powers that be, this guy did. But I think in our office, you will never see, we never associate one piece of work with one person. That never has happened in half a decade. It is never possible. And which is such a folly, because I eventually see everyone in the industry talking that, okay, this one person pulled something off. It never happens. And that's what we try to teach them.
So basically, teams is what you're looking
It's
at.
always
Team of
teams.
writers,
I think,
team
yeah,
of.
yeah, teams, either teams or Bollywood actors. They can sell everything under the sun other than their movies. Yeah.
All right. Now that there are so many who are they wannabes like you, or are they like you who've come into the ecosystem and are producing content with brands?
Sorry.
Are they wannabes, or they
The
or the guys who come into the ecosystem and they're creating content with brands? So there's so many of them.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think,
what do you think about this coming up?
I think if you look at, I feel that it's very encouraging. I feel there are way too many brands. We are a company which works with abundance mentality. We feel that there is no competition in show business and storytelling. We believe that if we sit on the table and work hard on our story, people will watch that as well as 10 others. So we never are bothered about that. And we feel that there are almost 10,000 brands in this country. We cannot even conceive the idea of working with all of them. So I think it's great that the ecosystem grows. It's great that we are able to work with a lot more people. But the only problem is that working with brands or telling a story with a brand is the toughest form of craft in this entire caste system of writing. I personally did branded content for 4 years before I started TVF, and then we did it for half a decade. So, and still we feel that we are not good enough. So I think the one caution that we have internally for people who are excited about it is that this is the toughest form of writing. Writing when you have to please yourself as creators, viewers as the people watching it, and the brands who want something out of it, it is not easy. I think it is the most toughest triangle to crack, but I think people who can do that, it's very well. While a lot of adulteration has also started happening. People are putting post-roll slates and they say that it's branded integration. I think I'm again an unsolicited advice to all the brands and agencies sitting in the room that सब आपको चूतिया बना रहे हैं. तो I think उसका आप ध्यान रख सकते हो. I think if you're willing to not lie to the mirror, that people will come and say that it's integration, but it's not. And I think you can pretty much objectively find out if it is. But I think we know how it works.
Okay.
Sometimes we are not willing to call the bluff. So then you're
24 months down the line, not 18. 18 was
so then
Ajit.
you're fine, you're happy with a slate in the end of the show, and you will say, wow, we made our story.
Yeah, so where do you see TVF? Where do you see TVF play 24 months down the line? Where do you see yourself 24 months down the line? Where do you see TVF 24 months down the line? Your film you're making next year, so that would have been released. What you said you want to make 3 times as much as 3 Idiots?
Yeah, I think for next 18 months, the movie is the biggest ambition that we have. We decided that all the big guys have come and started making web series. तो हमने कहा कि यार ये तो सभी लोग आ गए, तो why not take their bigger jobs and earn 300 crore by making something which is 90 minutes and just 9 jokes. So why not do that? So I think it's a very conscious, counterintuitive decision that while these guys are busy making 5-minute to 10-minute series videos online, which is brutally the most toughest because people will not give an F, it is not watchable. The good and the bad thing with this medium is that it's very brutal. You can't throw money at a problem. You will never find any of these OTT, let's say that you will never find a product fans out there. I think what happened accidentally is because of starting early, we have a community behind us, which is a good part. The bad part is even if we are making a movie, these 3-4 million people will watch because it's their TVF fans. But if it is not good, they will also take our case. So we feel that rather than trying to get smaller checks by doing the toughest form of creative work, why not do the easiest in the country and get 400 crores? Because guess what? All of you are fine paying 900 rupees, spending 200 on petrol, 500 on samosa, watching a fuck-all Bollywood film and still coming just to write a funny statement on FB. So that's the kind of power, business power that Bollywood has on us as consumers. So we would rather want to be in that business.
So you've tied up the distribution side, the sale, you've done a pre-sale?
I think we'll figure that way out. I think all the studios, thankfully our repertoire of work, everyone likes and they see value in TVF film. So I think, the average duration of Permanent Roommate season 2 is 60 minutes. We have something called the laugh graph and the cry graph. People laugh 70 times and cry 30 times in 50 minutes. So I think in a Bollywood film, if you laugh 10 times and cry 2 times, it's a super hit film. So we feel that we can definitely do 1,000 crores.
So do you see Netflix buying the piece of content, the film?
No, this is a movie which we'll want to release in a place where people go and spend 900 rupees, 200 rupees on petrol and 500 rupees on samosa, not anywhere else. If they can pay us upfront that much of money, that's fine.
No, going Q's way of releasing it in festivals and then putting it on.
No.
I mean, they got a good $1.5 million bucks from Netflix.
I think we are very clear, yaar, hum jihadi filmmaker bilkul bhi nahi hai. We want to make something which most of the people would love, watch and feel. We are not into the business of creating things where we take pride. Isko samajh mein nahi aaya, humne to bahut achhi cheez banai. I feel that while the commercial filmmakers, we make 9,000 films in a year, 9 of them are good. 900 and 9 of them are good, and we have 90 years of practice, by the way, in making movies. I actually get surprised when these guys in the last 9 months say that, okay, we'll make a 9 web series in 9 months. So I think, that film जिसमें हमारी इतनी practice है, उसमें इतनी फटी हुई है हमारी. But मुझे लगता है कि हम time लेंगे, बनाएंगे, अपने तरीके से बनाएंगे तो शायद हो जाएगा.
अच्छा, questions from the audience because time's up. Questions. Questions? Anyone wants to ask him questions? Tough ones, difficult ones, easy ones, admiration ones, hate ones. He's welcoming all.
I hope any Bollywood actor was not sitting here.
Hi, this is Adish again from Alt Balaji. Hi, here.
Hi, Ar.
Hi. So I just want to know.
Did Ajit whisper the numbers in your ear?
No, I will meet him
But
now.
he whispered something in my ear.
Okay, you can reveal then. How's the viewing pattern? I mean, when you release a particular episode, when is the peak? Do you see? I mean, in the same hour or in the same day or maybe a couple of days after that? Because I just want to know because I want to explore the windowing that we can do around the content. And again,
You are spying and getting trade secrets for all Balaji.
But you also use a lot of social media push, don't you?
No, I think Adish, that's where I think the community works. कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी होती हैं जिस पे आप एक्चुअली में लॉन्च करके या पैसा लगा के या मार्केटिंग करके आप नहीं कर सकते हो. So if we have a 5 million fan base, it is an outcome of half a decade of work. And those are the fan people who actually push and sort of give you that exposure. I think with, of course, Balaji and the kind of repertoire they have, you might actually be able to pull off that in a very, very less time. It depends, sir. I think, there is no fixed answer to it. If
What
you
he's
look at
asking
it,
is-
sahi hai.
no, when you release your finale,
Yeah.
so when was the peak that you saw in terms of viewership?
That's what I'm saying, that the viewership happens depending on, so PR is a 2-year-old property. Everyone knows that.
Okay.
I think a better example would be Life Sahi Hai, which is a YouTube series which is there and it's doing very well. So I think it's released last evening and it's gotten 400,000 views already.
Okay.
So I think there are a lot of good examples on YouTube. Unfortunately, none of those apply as it is to OTT plays, so you'll have to be very careful. Facebook is another animal in town which gives you views for 3 seconds of mute auto play. So those numbers also make a lot of people happy. So I think it's the way you look at it. Honestly, अगर तुम देखोगे तो I think वो धीरे-धीरे होगा. I think there is the only thing that I know is Rowdies, our first video when we had 0 viewers, 0 followers, 0 subscribers, it got its peak in the first 4 days. So I think that was the most purest of the pilot test.
Okay. Is there any difference you saw when you launched the finale or maybe some episodes on TVF Play as compared to on YouTube? I mean,
No, I think so. A lot of people don't know it, and I told Anil. I mean, sometimes I mispronounce his name Anil while he's moderating. It's not a mistake. But last year also I told him, and this again I'm saying that TVF Play for us is nothing. Actually, it's a community. It's for our fans to find everything from TVF at one place.
okay.
And yes, we do take pride in the fact that we have made 17 shows. So when it comes to original content, nobody is anywhere close to us. So we realized that fans, you were getting confused searching on YouTube. So what we did is we took all the YouTube videos and arranged it properly on the one side.
Okay, cool.
So I think,
Thanks.
thank you.
Any other questions? Last one before we break for. Are we breaking for lunch? Somebody guide me. Yeah, after this. Last question. Either beach mein. Can you pass him the mic, please?
Yeah, hi, my name is Nilesh. I'm from Shortput Films.
You're
What?
from?
Shortput Films. We have a
Shortput.
channel on. Yeah.
सही है यार नहीं अच्छा नाम है यार
Huh? You liked it?
Shotput, that game ना वो
Yeah. It's a metaphor actually.
कैसे आया ये नाम सॉरी
सर आपका मैदान है सर आप खेलो
शॉटपुट फिल्म बहुत अच्छा नाम
है ना?
आई थिंक शॉटपुट प्लेयर्स वुड बी मतलब उनको लगता होगा यार वो मोस्ट अनग्लैमरस प्लेयर हैं यार वो यहाँ पे ऐसे ग्वाइटर लगा के ऐसे रखता है एनीवे
So
it's
my
very
question-
quirky. It's a compliment, the name.
Thank you so much. My question is that since you have started all alone, so the funding. First of all, your team is great. I mean, especially Sakar. So how did you manage to how did you manage to bring them all on the same?
So I think the only credit that for anything in TVF that I do not give to any of my team members is getting the team members. That's the credit that I take personally, and I take very much pride in that. And again, it's an outcome of I just completed 10 years in Bombay and 9 years in this industry. So it's an outcome of 9 years. 9 saal dene padenge, and you have to keep your eyes and ears open. And people, I think a lot of people have met me, and I have met them. People, we have liked each other, we have stuck around, and I think the more important sort of a thing which actually forms the team is the mission. So I think all of us somewhere, so Golu was actually the first person, Amit Gulani, who directed
Yeah, yeah.
pictures. He was the first person to actually come on board with me. So I just met him and I just liked the blunt honesty that he had. So and the ambition that we all shared. So it always gets formed if all of them believe in the same cause.
And do you pay all of them? Or in some cases, I've read some young people have come together. They give pen drives as. You pay them in the beginning? Or?
Yeah, I think
that's
we are the only loss-making company paying people before 31st every month for last 5 years. And we also take pride in that. The only everlasting effect that I feel TVF might have in my lifetime is if we can bring a decent amount of professionalism and a lot of meritocracy in this industry, I would consider my death happy. So that's what we want to do.
All right. On that note, a big round of applause to Arunabh. And thanks again for being here. All the best to you.
Thank you guys.